Welcome to the Made for Business show where Catholic moms come to learn how to do business from peace while raising kids. And today we're going to be talking about sleep. We talked about this in the society recently. And so first, the exercise that I did with them was I said, hey, I want you to slow down. And I want you to ask yourself what you need. And most of us, when somebody asks us that question, we jump into our intellectual brain and we're like, what do I need? And we think about all these things. And that's not what I'm saying. I want you to take a deep breath and I want you to drop into your body. And it should come, this feeling from below your, I don't know how else to describe it. It's like our analytical brain is up here and it's fast. And then below the neck is like where the Holy Spirit lives. It's where we can feel into our body and we can be like, hey, what do you need? And so I've been encouraging them to practice this skill and to ask themselves what they need, because obviously this is just something that moms don't really do. We're so focused on serving other people that we don't really check in with ourselves on that deep, quiet level. So we had all sorts of answers, but one woman said, I just need to sleep more. And I was like, yeah, sometimes what we need isn't in the business. And so I have had, I've struggled with insomnia since I was like 10. I mean, since I was very little. So I don't know if that's just an ADHD thing. And I just always had a really active mind. But it's just been a problem since I was very young. And I have a pretty good handle on it now. So I wanted to share some of the things that I've done. Now, asterisks, if you are postpartum and you have kind of like a sub 1-year-old or a sub 18-month-old that either still sleeps with you or a kiddo that comes into bed with you, that's hard. And I think in those phases of life, we just either decide we're going to tackle the pain of sleep training or we're just going to drop into acceptance until the kiddo is sleeping better. I think either is totally fine. I think it is just as painful to do early sleep training as it is to not sleep train and sleep train later. So I have no everyone should do it idea. But I just want to say I'm going to talk to you about things like melatonin and screen time. And then for those of you who are like, yeah, my baby's waking up, I'm like, well, those things aren't going to help you. You can still manage sleep better than you probably are. Sometimes we're grumpy and rebellious. And so we still do a lot of things that aren't helpful for us. And we're not even getting the sleep that we could get. So in that way, some of these things might apply for you. But we're moms here. And I just want to validate those seasons are really difficult. I am not in one of those seasons. My youngest is 4. Whether they're actually sleeping in their room or not, those crazy monkey boys, they are in there. They don't wake me up. So the first thing is not looking at your phone an hour before you go to sleep. Stretch goal 2 hours. And this sucks and none of us want to do it. We love our phones, love the dopamine. We're lonely. We want to check out at the end of the day. It's a big ask. It's a big ask. But I will tell you that the times in my life where I really buckled down and did it was when I just wanted something more. And I'm in one of those times right now where I want to wake up early and work before my kids wake up so I can spend more time with them. So it is not worth it for me to dink on my phone. I still do it sometimes. But in general, I just don't. And the way that I do it is I actually don't need to put my phone somewhere totally different. Listen, you people with the R radiation, and I know probably shouldn't be in my room. Okay, I'm trying. I just put it on the other side of my nightstand, which is so lame. But if it's right next to my nightstand, then I just grab it and I can just check it. And I just put it on the other side. And I have to really lean over to get it. And then it just shows me how ridiculous it is. Just being over there is enough of a barrier. And what I do is if I'm going to bed at 9, I'd probably do it at 7:30. Just because I don't even know that I'd think about it. Before then, I'm kind of milling around. So I'd probably grab my phone at 7:30. I would set my alarm. I look at my schedule for the next day. I set my alarm and then I put it on the far side of the bed. And then I just go, hey, nothing is going to be important between now and when you wake up tomorrow morning. And we're just so self-involved and self-important. We're just like, oh, it's going to be a lot of things. I'm like, no, it isn't. Now, if you have teenagers and they're out and they need to get a hold of you, maybe you're in that phase of life. But you can put your phone on Do Not Disturb, except for certain contacts. So you could do that. So you could put your phone on Do Not Disturb, except for your husband and your kids. Anybody where They actually needed to get a hold of you after 7:30 at night. And if you are friends with me, you know this. I do not even see text messages after 8 p.m. It goes into sleep mode or whatever. And I just have to tell them that. I'm like, if you text me after 8 p.m., I'm going to see it at 5:30 in the morning. And eventually you'll just train the people in your life to understand that. And I've also told them, like, if you need something urgently, and sometimes that's true, like sometimes my husband's taking a bunch of kids camping or something the next day and they have questions, I go, call my husband. And so just generally people know this about me. And because it doesn't make any noise or anything, you can text me at 11:30, you can text me at 2. Doesn't disturb me. And so you just have to get to the place where you want something more than to check out and get the dopamine from your phone. And for me right now, like I am just moving this mountain on these businesses so that we can kind of unlock the next level of our life. And it is an intense time right now. And so I'm just like, no. Watching short form videos of puppies or Alex Hormozy is just not what I want to be doing right now. I mean, I do enjoy doing that a lot, but it's not worth it for me. Jack up my sleep. And I'm just so clear on that trade-off. And so put the phone over there. Do not disturb. Don't look at it. And listen, here's the thing I want you to know. Your body has neural pathways where it goes, but we want to check our email and our Facebook account and our Instagram account before we go to bed. And you're going to feel this urge. And you need to let the urge go unanswered. And it's going to feel uncomfortable, but it dissolves a little bit. And then if you do it again and again and again, then eventually you won't have the urge. So that's the deal about screens and phones. I have found that with or without blue blocker glasses, I can read my Kindle Paperwhite, so there's no color or anything on it, before bed and still be okay. That doesn't jack up my sleep. But if you want, you can get the blue blocker glasses, because I think there's just a little bit of blue light in that. But I'll read a real book, a book, what we call it in my house. Like a book, which means the physical book. Or a Kindle. Sometimes I listen to an audiobook. No business books before I go to bed, though. So it has to be something that doesn't light up my brain. It just has to be like kind of nice and kind of lovely. Most of the fiction I read, and I don't read a ton of fiction, is pretty fine before bed. It's not like super intense or upsetting. So the other thing I've had to do, y'all, I don't know, this is about getting close to 40, but I have to stop drinking liquids at like 7:30. And I love drinking tea. And I usually used to drink tea all the way up until I go to bed. But then I found that I have to wake up at 2 in the morning. And if I just wake up enough, I'm up for 3 hours. So I just have to hydrate myself enough before that point and then just call it good and be like, you're just going to be a camel and live off of the water that you drank earlier so that you don't have to go to the bathroom. So that was a big shift that I made. I don't know, as I got older, as I had so many kids. I don't have a lot of bladder problems, but I definitely, like, if I drink too much tea, I have to go to the bathroom. And, I think we just live these lives where we perceive that the way to grow is to be more and more restrictive. And if you have that view of it, it will feel yucky. It will feel like a parent is telling you what to do and being like, you can't even drink tea before you go to bed. And if it feels like that, I just want to suggest that your vision of what you're trying to accomplish isn't clear enough, you don't want it enough, or you don't believe it's possible. We only feel upset about making the trade-offs when we feel like it isn't worth it. And so, why are you doing this? Like, I'm so clear on why getting a lot of sleep is important for me now that I just do the things. And I would say I probably do all the things 9 out of 10 nights. I bet it's like 1 every 10 days that I'm just like, I will drink that tea and I will scroll on my phone and watch some puppy videos. Oh my gosh, you guys. I love watching people get puppies as surprise presents. That is my life goal. is to empower my husband, but he also needs to know the exact kind of dog I want, to surprise me with a puppy. Like, I just want that experience in life. Probably not happening in 2024. So then I don't think my body makes melatonin. I think that was also one of the reasons I really struggled. I struggled falling asleep forever and ever and ever. And then I would also wake up. I don't have sleep apnea. I was tested for that. So I take, I don't know, 3 milligrams of melatonin 2 hours before I go. And when I forget, I do not get tired. I just do not. I just don't feel that feeling. And so I take melatonin. The other thing is asterisks. I'm not a doctor. This could be horrible advice. But a doctor did tell me this. I was chronically underslept. I don't know, my mid-20s. Just so much insomnia, just red bloodshot eye. It was so horrible. And I saw the doctor and they were like, listen, sleeplessness begets sleeplessness. Like, it's just this cycle. And when you're underslept, it's actually really hard to get sleep. And so she said, I think you should take a sleeping pill for 3 days. And she was like, you don't need to take it a ton. This isn't like an addiction, scary thing, like 3 days. But she said, you just need to get enough sleep to get back into that place. And I think that I took Ambien that time. I had Ambien, which I don't even remember what the experience was like. I did not get hooked on Ambien. It was the only time I've ever taken it. But now if it's been a while, but if I'm like chronically underslept for whatever reason, I will take half a Unisom. And that's pretty mild. I'll take half a Unisom for 3 nights. And then I can just feel like click. And now I'm back into the cycle of being able to have healthy sleep again. So I don't know if that's terrible, but I just want you to know that those of you who are scared of medicine or being addicted to sleep aids, like, I think it's a pretty mild experience. And if you're just chronically underslept, it might just help you get out of that cycle. So melatonin, Unisom if you need it. I'm a big fan of candles, non-scented candles, or diffusing something like an essential oil, and classical music. That's a really lovely way to calm your brain down. Spotify has a really fantastic, like, top 100 classical songs that I really love. And it also has those Benedictine nuns that I really love. Angels is in the name of the album. Oh, I love that album. Something really lovely. Okay. Some of you might like white noise or a fan. And your room should have blackout curtains and it should be cold. We want to sleep cold as humans. And so you should feel kind of cold getting into bed. And then you like cuddle up in your blankets. And then you'll get hot in the blanket. But that's the ideal sleeping environment. Blackout curtains, cold. Okay, the next thing. This is something I learned from Brooke Castillo at the Life Coach School. She said when she wakes up in the middle of the night and her brain wants to think about business, she just says, no. You may not think about business. This is not work time. And I just love that because I really enjoy thinking about business. And, sometimes I'm worried, but sometimes I'm just excited about something that I want to think about. And so I have just trained my brain like, nope, we do not do that. Don't think about business. It's just not the time to work. I'm like, you can lay here, you can be bored, you can talk to Jesus, but you do not get to think about your business. And so that has really helped me because I like thinking about business and it probably gives me lots of dopamine, which is not what we want when we're trying to sleep. So just, I'm being nice to yourself. You don't have to be mean about it, but just being like, hey, we want to go to sleep and this is not going to help us go to sleep. I fall asleep really well to noise. I really love On Hallow. Jonathan Rumi reads the Beatitudes and it's 40 minutes. And that's my favorite thing to fall asleep to. But my husband really doesn't like noise. So I only get to listen to that when he's gone, which is not often. But he is gone right now and I really enjoy it. So that really helps me. But I don't like sleeping with headphones. There's been no form of sleeping with headphones that I've been comfortable with. So out of love for him, I just let that go. That is what I would like if I was by myself. You might get a white noise machine. And I just think a lot of you are staying up too late. And I just want you to ask yourself why. And I think a lot of it is we're just not taking care of ourselves. And so this is like the last grasp at having time to yourself. I just want to say, like, how can you have time for yourself in the other 18 hours so you can go to bed at 10? I realize I go to bed at 9, which is ridiculous, but I also kind of need 9 hours in bed because it takes me a little while to go to sleep. I like to have kind of a wind down. And then, I'm waking up at 5:36. So I just need that time. And then another thing is you might just consider a deliverance prayer. Just get that book from Father Rippinger and do a deliverance prayer. Like maybe you just have something going on and you just need to bind that up. And so there's so many things that you can do, and you will do it when you want something more than you want messing around with your bedtime routine. And listen, I don't even think it's a problem if you want to stay up late and do whatever you're doing. Some of you are working or spending time with your husband. But if you're getting less than really 8 hours of sleep, no one should be getting less than 6 hours of sleep. Again, caveat, unless you have a baby, and then that's just a giant sacrifice that all moms make for those seasons. Then, you just need to want something. I mean, there were so many years where I was like kind of hanging out in my business and I wasn't waking up early. And I didn't need to. I was doing business at nap time and an hour or two when my husband got home and some time on Saturdays, and it was enough. So sleep is important. And the other thing I want to say is, I got to go find it, but I heard just might have been Alex Hormozy. I do listen to other people. He's just so great that I remember so much of what he says. He was saying anxiety comes from having too many choices. And you believe that there's a right one. And so you're so anxious about picking the right one. And so if you're feeling anxious, I want you just to ask yourself, what do you think you have so many choices for, right? Like what are we anxious about? Is it money? Is it time? Is it your business, right? And like, why do you think there's a right choice? Is there a right choice? Because most of the time we just kind of pick something and we follow it out. Like in business, there's no right way to build business. It's just a bunch of experiments, which is kind of how I feel about parenting too. Every kid is different. Every stage is different. We're just like, let's try this. And so, some of you are waking up and you're feeling very anxious. And, I love the surrender novena. Just like put that thing on repeat, man. Just every 9 days, just start it again. Oh, I need it again. Entrepreneurship is stressful. It's risky. Your brain is always going to talk you out of it. It's going to tell you that you're bad at it and you don't know what you're doing and that you should quit. It's just par for the course, right? It just comes with the gig. But you get to decide if you want to grow your business enough or manage business and homeschooling or business and whatever you're doing with your kids, homemaking, and if you need enough sleep to do it. Getting enough sleep restores your dopamine reserves so that you have more to use the next day. So when I'm feeling depressed, I often am like, am I getting enough sleep? And am I moving my body enough? Because remember, I forget the number, it was like 4,600. It's a weird number, but less than 5,000. If you're getting less than 5,000 steps a day, it just puts you in that depression category. And I am super sedentary. Or it's just my natural state to just sit and not get up. Like I just love sitting and reading, and I just love sitting. And so I have to be like, whew, remember, we want the dopamine, we got to get up. I'm not saying that we have to wake up at 4 a.m. and do a cold plunge meditate for 45 minutes, and all these other ridiculous things. But I think we could start by sleeping 8 hours and getting 5,000 steps in. Not 10, 5. And if you're not in that place right now, it's totally fine. You don't need to do any of that. This episode is here for you anytime you need it. Anytime. All right, my friend. Let me just see when this episode is coming out. Yes, it is coming out on the 15th. So if you are doing 100,000, close to 100,000 or more, any amount more, I want you to come hang out with me in Orlando. I'm hosting a business retreat, and it is February 6th and the 7th. It's on my website. Go to sterlingjaquith.com, click Orlando. And we're doing at this beautiful Catholic retreat center. We'll do mass every day. We're going to go visit the incredible basilica there. That's just like, oh, I'm so excited about it. And I am going to give you space to think about your business. And so it's like a little bit of a vacation, a little bit of a spiritual retreat, a little bit of a business workshop. Okay, but it is so valuable. I don't know if you've done this before, but I've done it where I flew away. I left my kids. I spent 2 days with other businesswomen, and I thought about and prayed about my business, and I slept. I'm telling you, it is a game changer. I've done this. This will be the 3rd time, and it's so healing. That's the word that I would use. There's so much healing that comes up at these retreats, and women just have incredible breakthroughs about their business. And it doesn't surprise me. It's not like it's because I'm so great. It's just that when we're in a different environment, and we have time to sleep and to pray, we just think differently. And I am good at running retreats, and I do a few short talks, and I give them questions and things to work on and some workshop things. But also a significant amount of what comes out of these retreats are the relationships and the ideas that they have with each other. In the last retreat, one of the women who has a business was like, I'm thinking about doing this other business. And we all just we pulled up these chairs. And we were like, let's talk about it. And we just helped her create this plan for this business. It was so much fun. It is so fun to hang out with women who want to talk about business. And so the last day to sign up is January 5th. But some of you need to spend some business. And so I'm doing an early bird special that ends on December 15th. So if you're listening to this the day it comes out, today is the day. So I want you to talk to your husband and say, listen, I need to get away and think about my business. And I'm going to come back a happy, relaxed wife who feels hopeful about business. And he wants that, and he loves you. And I'm going to take care of your room, and you get to be in a room by yourself. I'm going to take care of your food and taking you to the basilica. So you should buy a plane ticket and get here. And then I will feed you and give you some gifts and give you lots of space. This is not one of those retreats or conferences where we just pack it full. It's not. The purpose is to rest and to pray, and then some business. But it is such a valuable experience. It really, really is. And the women who have come keep coming. They keep coming, which I hope shows you that they find value in thinking about their business enough to make time and space for this. Because I actually think the bigger investment is time for us, right? For moms, be away from our kids. But for some of you, maybe you've never done that. And really amazing business ideas are hatched at these retreats. And often some deep healing is found. Like the Lord has some deep healing for you. So, sterlingjaquith.com, click on Orlando, sign up if you want $200 off. You can wait all the way until January 5th. That's the last day to sign up. But if you want to save a little bit of money, do it now. So I love you guys. I'm super excited. I'm going to leave snow and go to sunshine. That feels exciting. I've never been to Florida. I don't want to be eaten by an alligator. That's my childish view of Florida, but I think it's going to be really fun. And I would love to see you there. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for listening. Get some sleep and have a blessed day.